Kim Kardashian is reportedly trying to force her sister Khloe to get back together with her cheating ex Tristan Thompson, and it looks like Khloe is struggling to stand up to Kim.
I still think he's a great guy and he's a great dad. He's just not the guy for me.
Rumors are going around that Kim is desperately trying to get Khloe and Tristan to reconcile, and fans have this theory that Kim is only doing this because she's a narcissist who loves when her sisters are miserable.
People think that's a misunderstanding. It's not.
It's who she is to her core.
And this is actually making perfect sense because Kim recently admitted in an interview with Jay Shetty that she loves watching people fail.
But it's a beautiful thing to sit back and watch people make mistakes, learn from their mistakes.
Besides that, Kim also encouraged Khloe to have another baby with Tristan via surrogate, only for Khloe to admit that Kim wasn't honest about the surrogacy process.
I wish someone was honest about surrogacy and the difference of it, but it doesn't mean it's bad or good. It's still great. It's just very different.
But how does Khloe feel about Kim defending Tristan? Will she finally realize that Kim doesn't have her best interest at heart? So if you've been keeping up with the Kardashians from the start, you know that Kim always has shown major narcissistic traits. Even before Keeping Up with the Kardashians premiered, Kim always had to be the center of attention in every situation.
Oh, do you remember me? Okay, we're gonna I'm this beautiful little girl. Are you leaving? Okay. My name's Kim Kardashian. I'm the dopest and the ropest person in this class. I'm dope on a rope, and you should learn my vocabulary and stop Lorenzo because he's just jealous that I'm doper than he is, and that's just a fact.
Define dope, Kim.
So dope is Kim. Anyway, wait, I wanted to know what she's talking about. I'm more popular than she is.
And if you've ever dealt with a narcissist, then you know they get off on watching other people suffer, even their own family members. This is because narcissists have extremely low self-esteem deep down, so when they see other people happy, it poses a threat to their sense of self. Now think about it. Kim always gets along best with her sisters when they're at their most miserable. Her relationship with Kourtney was best when Kourtney was dealing with Scott's cheating. However, the moment that Kourtney ended things with Scott and found love with Travis Barker, Kim turned on her. In fact, Kim tried to make Kourtney feel guilty about leaving Scott, and she even implied that if Scott starts drinking again, it will be Kourtney's fault.
I mean, I feel like Scott just I don't know, I feel like he feels like maybe as a family we're gonna be gone if we're not scheduled to all meet up. And
I think it's just change. Some people have a really hard time with change.
think about all the times he's had big change hasn't been positive for him. So maybe he's scared in this way that he feels like, well, what if I have nothing to do and I get so restless, and that was giving me a purpose and giving me something to do, and what if I start drinking, or what if I start this, or what if I start that? You know, like, I can only imagine.
Narcissists are also great at figuring out what triggers you and using those triggers to provoke a reaction, meanwhile making it look like you are the crazy one for getting upset. Take, for instance, that infamous fight between Kourtney and Kim in season 18 of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Kim started off by making a snarky comment about Kendall's anxiety, knowing full well that this will trigger Kendall because Kendall always talks about how people think she's rude when she actually has an anxiety disorder. And did you see that evil smile on Kim's face when Kendall got triggered? And then Kim decided to do the same thing to Kourtney and used her trigger to provoke her, which in Kourtney's case is the whole narrative about her sister being the lazy one. Luckily for Kourtney, she realized what was going on and decided to set boundaries and distance herself from Kim. But there's nothing that triggers a narcissist more than someone who sets boundaries, which is exactly why Kim became even more vicious to Kourtney after Kourtney decided to stick up for herself.
We are all different people. We have different things that are important to each of us. My well-being is more important than the show. I'm not giving in.
Okay.
And I'm not going to change my boundaries. That's not going to happen.
Okay.
Kim threatened to fire Kourtney from the show after Kourtney decided to take a break from filming.
Everyone needs a consequence.
Oh my God.
Let's show her. If she doesn't want to show up, she doesn't want to work, she has too many boundaries, she's out.
It's also interesting that Kourtney and Kendall are the only Kar-Jenner members who believe in therapy. However, the moment Kourtney said she was going to therapy, Kim started gaslighting her. She even threw some subtle shade on Kourtney during her recent interview with Jay Shetty when she said she enjoys watching people who go to therapy make mistakes.
There's nothing worse when someone is like so woke and they're on this therapy journey and they expect you to be right there with them. but it's a beautiful thing to sit back and watch people make mistakes.
However, Kourtney refused to let Kim get to her, so Kim had to move on to the next victim. And she didn't have to look very far because Khloe was already desperate for Kim's validation. After Tristan Thompson's multiple cheating scandals blew up, Kim suddenly became besties with Khloe. And when Khloe took Tristan back, Kim encouraged her to have another baby with him via surrogate. In fact, Khloe said if it hadn't been for Kim sharing her own surrogacy experience, she wouldn't have even gone through with it.
If it wasn't for Kimberly, I definitely don't think I would have been as
You wouldn't have been
comfortable.
aware?
I wouldn't have been aware. Yeah. I wouldn't have known as much. I watched her go through her journey, and I'm so grateful for how open she's always been about her journey.
But get this, Khloe recently admitted in a new episode of The Kardashians that she's struggling to bond with her son. And she also said that she wishes someone had been honest with her about what surrogacy is really like.
I felt really guilty that like this woman just had my baby, and I take the baby and then I go to another room and you're sort of separated. Like, I felt it's such a transactional experience because it's not about him. I wish someone was honest about surrogacy.
And when Khloe later talked to Scott and Kim about this, Kim said something along the lines of, well, yeah, of course surrogacy is tough when you don't carry your baby.
I do think that there is a difference. When the baby is in your belly, the baby actually feels your real heart.
But this is not what Kim was telling Khloe before she went through with the surrogacy. While Kourtney tried to warn Khloe that it won't be easy to just take the baby from the surrogate mom, Kim was telling her how amazing it is and offering to help her to find the perfect surrogate.
You'll find the right person. I can help you, like, once you get applicants, like, it shows them a picture of them and their family, and then you talk to, like, the husband, and it's like a whole thing. Like,
I didn't know you were allowed to know that much about them.
yeah, you have to know, like, everything about them.
It is kind of a weird experience, though, I'm not gonna lie. Like at the end when you're like, okay thanks, bye.
Yeah.
And then you like take the kid and you're like, bye, thank you so much.
Many fans said this whole surrogacy situation is another example of how Kim loves sabotaging her own sisters so her life wouldn't seem as bad in comparison. One fan on Reddit made a thread about this, saying that Khloe effed up sucking up to Kim because Kim is a sociopath who loves seeing Khloe fail. Kim spent months telling Khloe surrogacy is amazing and encouraging it, the fan wrote. Now that Khloe is having regrets, she digs the knife in by saying, yeah, it's not the same, the baby didn't feel your heartbeat. Kourtney never would have encouraged Khloe to get a surrogate for vanity purposes. But it looks like watching Khloe struggling to bond with her son wasn't enough for Kim, and she's now reportedly also trying to convince Khloe to take Tristan back. Over the past couple of months, Kim was seen sitting courtside at several of Tristan's Laker games and was constantly posting photos of Tristan on her stories. Kim even brought her daughter North to one of the games and made her hold a sign with Tristan's name on it. Now, how messed up do you have to be to make your 9-year-old daughter show support to the man who cheated on her aunt and destroyed her mentally? Not only is this evil to Khloe, but Kim is also sending a wrong message to North about men and relationships. But how does Khloe feel about Kim pressuring her to take Tristan back? Will she finally manage to set some boundaries with Kim like Kourtney did? Well, a source close to Khloe recently told TMZ that Khloe is definitely not taking Tristan back, though she will continue to co-parent with him. However, Kim is reportedly not giving up, and the Kardashian insiders are saying that she's constantly throwing hints in Khloe's presence that Tristan deserves another chance. Fans are now saying they feel bad for Khloe because she's not strong enough to stand up to Kim and set boundaries, and she'll probably end up taking Tristan back. One fan said that Kim is trying to convince Khloe to stay with Tristan because she thrives off the fact her sister is in a bad relationship and with a man who doesn't love her. And another person added, not surprising though, Khloe has low self-esteem, so she's become a full-time flying monkey for Kim's narcissistic ass. However, others are saying they have no sympathy for Khloe because she was very quick to gang up on Kourtney and take Kim's side. Khloe already knew how Kim was like, one fan said. She loved replacing Kourtney in the family dynamics. She's just doing it for approval, but it will all be in vain as they'll never approve of her the way she wants. But let's hear your thoughts on this. Does Kim really enjoy watching her sisters be miserable? And do you think she'll manage to convince Khloe to take Tristan back? Comment down below. And don't miss out on this next video.